From the time LEGO hid 4 minifigures inside one set to when they made their own hidden Mickey, these are some top secret things in LEGO that you've definitely missed. Up first is a super secret reference in the LEGO Spider-Man Ultimate Bridge Battle set. If you think you know all the Easter eggs and references in this set, guess again, because as random as this 1962 piece may look, it's a reference to something that only true Spider-Man fans would know. 1962 is actually the year when Spider-Man was first seen in a comic book. He was featured in Amazing Fantasy Volume 15, way back in the day, so I highly doubt you've ever seen him before. There's no way you know about this reference, but some of the other secrets in this video are even harder to spot, so make sure you watch all the way until the end. Up next is actually a secret second part to an Easter egg that's already super famous, and it's in the LEGO Mario Question Block set. Since this set is based on a video game, there are loads of Easter eggs you can find, but one of the most famous ones is the fact that you can pull up a tab on the front of the set and find a mini brick-built Bowser. As crazy as it sounds, this Easter egg actually has a second part. To find it, all you have to do is push down on the platform that Bowser is standing on, and an entirely separate compartment will pop out at the bottom. The coolest thing about this second part is that it's a huge reference in and of itself. In Super Mario N64, the only way Mario can beat Bowser is if he picks him up by his tail and spins him around. And with this secret platform, you can actually recreate that, which is super sick. Now, this next one is definitely weird. I'm not sure why, but apparently you can't subscribe to this channel in 3 seconds or less. I'm gonna start a timer, and if you can subscribe, let me know down in the comments. Ready? Go! Did it work? I hope it did, because I have to move on to the next secret detail. Most of the time, the craziest references in LEGO are in the pieces, especially for sets like the Daily Bugle. But this time, I have one for you that's hidden in a minifigure. This set is notorious for how many minifigures it comes with, which of course I'm not complaining about, but it makes it super easy to miss a certain detail. The Jonah Jameson minifigure has 2 faceplates on his headpiece, and one of them is a reference to a very specific scene in the movies. LEGO doesn't even advertise this on the website, so you'd literally never know he had 2. But the second faceplate is him with webs over his mouth. If you don't know the Spider-Man movies like the back of your hand, this probably went right over your head. But in Spider-Man from 2002, there's a scene where the Green Goblin attacks Jameson inside the Daily Bugle. Luckily for him, Peter was just in his office, so Spider-Man was able to get in between the two of them. However, as usual, Jameson starts running his mouth, and instead of just telling him to shut up, Spider-Man webs his mouth shut so he can't talk anymore. This was a super funny scene in the movie, and I love that the designers brought that moment over to the set. I mean, they were super dedicated. The designers leave hidden messages, like the one in the LEGO Ideas Typewriter set. Since this set is in LEGO Ideas, that means it was made by a fan, and that fan's name is Steve Guinness. Instead of the typical initials that you'll usually see, like on the license plate of the James Bond car set, Guinness used this as a chance to send a message to anybody who might build his set. On the back, there's something that looks like a serial number, but these letters actually stand for something. The first 2 are his initials, but the letters that follow stand for never give up on your dreams. And honestly, this is probably the best message you can send to anybody. It sounds corny, but it packs a punch. I mean, I'm chasing my dreams right now just by making this video. So to keep things going, let me show you an Easter egg in the LEGO Atari set. If you've watched videos on LEGO Easter eggs, then you've probably seen the secret Mario level in the NES set. And this Atari one is actually pretty similar. Instead of taking a panel off like how you do for the NES, instead you just pull the flat part of the Atari forward. And when you go far enough, a cool little living room will pop up. It looks like it's supposed to be a typical kid's room back when this console first came out, but I can't be too sure. I mean, I'm not old or anything. Regardless, this is a really cool Easter egg, especially because it's basically a play feature. But there's a certain type of Easter egg in LEGO sets that's a cut above the rest. I'm talking about when LEGO throws in Easter eggs that were made in real life, like when they put the A113 logo in the Cars spy plane set, except the one I want to show you is way more well known. I'm talking about hidden Mickeys, and in case you've never heard of them, they're basically Easter eggs in real life. If you go to any Disney theme park, you can find these things hidden throughout the entire park. People go crazy looking for them, to the point where they even try to find and count every single one at every park. But what set did LEGO throw a hidden Mickey into? Well, the answer is Elsa's Castle, which is low-key kinda crazy if I'm being honest. I wouldn't expect a set this small and underhyped to have an Easter egg this meaningful, but maybe that was just LEGO trying to make it harder to find. because the harder it is to find, the more rewarding it feels. And the knowledge you need to understand the Apollo 11 lander is probably something a lot of us don't have. The details in this set are unmatched. I especially love the little minifigure footprints on the moon. But what I want to show you is actually hidden inside the lander. If you take off the top part of the set, you can see two barrels sitting near the middle, one white and one red. Well, these barrels are actually supposed to carry fuel for the rocket and an oxidizer. I just learned this right now, but apparently it's impossible to use fuel in space without an oxidizer. So not only is this set made to minifigure scale, but it's super accurate to the real world. With stuff like this, you can tell that LEGO really cares about people. But there's a new feature with certain sets that takes this meaning to a whole new level, and it's hiding in plain sight. LEGO just recently collabed with Hidden Sunflowers, a company that originated in England. They're an organization that helps people with non-visible disabilities discreetly let people know that they have one, and all they have to do is wear a sunflower lanyard. LEGO announced the collab late last year, and there are already 3 sets that feature minifigures with these lanyards. There's one in the LEGO Friends Heart Lake City Airport set, one in the up-and-coming First Time at the Airport set from LEGO Duplo, and the last one is hidden in the 2-door corner set in the Modular Buildings theme. If you take a look in the loft apartment, you'll find a tile piece on the wall with a little sunflower lanyard printed on it. The girl who lives in this apartment in the LEGO world is neurodivergent, so she lets people know by wearing her lanyard. This Easter egg has made this apartment pretty famous, but there's another LEGO apartment that's way more famous than this one, the LEGO Friends set. Obviously, this set is famous because of the show, but did you know that LEGO has an entire page on their website where they show you a ton of references in the set? LEGO claims that only the truest of Friends fans would be able to spot every reference, but by far the hardest one to know about were the chicken and duck pieces. These 2 pieces were in Joey and Chandler's apartment, and for those of you that don't get the reference, these 2 guys actually adopted a chick and a duck in season 3 of the show. Now, even though there are way more that I could talk about, I don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of Friends references. So instead, I'm going to show you some rapid-fire Easter eggs from the LEGO Movie 2 Apocalypseburg set. Since it's from a post-apocalyptic world, the designers reused a ton of LEGO elements from different sets, since the characters had to rebuild their own place to live. Number 1 is this design at the top of the set, which is actually a reference to LEGO Bionicle. Number 2 is the fact that LEGO used part of the giant truck set from 1996. Number 3 are these structures right here that look like they're straight from Ready Player One. Number 4 is that this gray piece is actually the engine from Hulk's car in the Hulk vs. Red Hulk set. And number 5 is that this piece right here is actually from the front of the Batmobile set from the LEGO Batman movie theme. All of these references are super sick, and some of them are way harder to find than others. But if there's one thing that's cooler than deep references like these, it's hidden minifigures. And the LEGO Disney Villain Icon set has loads of them. But first, take a look at this set. Isn't it sick? It's made up of some of the most popular Disney movies ever made. But not just that. They're made into VHS covers, VHS tapes, and books too. The secret minifigures are even cooler though. The first one is hidden in the apple from Snow White, where you can find the evil queen in her old woman disguise. The next one I'll show you is in the Sleeping Beauty VHS, and for this one, if you pull down at the top part of the graphic, Maleficent can be found lurking in the shadows. Next is the Aladdin tape at the bottom, and just like the Sleeping Beauty one, you just pull from the top of the graphic and find Jafar laying down. The last one is way harder to find though, and it's in the Beauty and the Beast book. At the bottom of the book, there's a little compartment that can be pulled out like a drawer, and this is where you can find Gaston. I honestly can't believe that LEGO hid this many minifigures in one set, but it makes it super fun for the builder, especially if they want to show it to someone. The hidden figures in the Capitol building set are a little different though. This set is part of the LEGO architecture theme, so the designers were super dedicated to getting every detail exactly right, including all of the statues in the middle of the set. Inside the real building, a bunch of statues surround the perimeter of the room, but since the LEGO version isn't scaled to minifigure size, the designers had to improvise. Instead of minifigs, they used blank nanofigures, one of the smallest figures made by LEGO. These figures represent the statues perfectly, so although it wasn't necessary, it makes the set that much better. Another super discreet detail can be found in the Land Rover Classic Defender set, and of course, since it's a car, it's on the back license plate. This isn't your average LEGO license plate Easter egg though. Instead of referencing the designer, these letters and numbers are actually important milestones in Land Rover's career. The first one, L316, is actually the model of Land Rover that LEGO used for the set, but the second one is a reference to a very specific Land Rover named Hugh 166. This car is quite literally called the most famous Land Rover ever, but it's for good reason. It's actually the first Land Rover ever made. Its registration number was Hugh 166, hence the name Hugh. But it's crazy that just 3 letters have such a deep backstory. When LEGO uses numbers and letters like this, it makes everyone happy. But have you ever seen a set where the number of pieces is a reference to? It's most famously done in the NASA Apollo Saturn V set, where the amount of pieces matches the year humanity first stepped on the moon, 1969. This type of Easter egg is actually a little more common than you might think, because something similar happened with the Mona Lisa set. It has 1,503 pieces, but because of the number, you probably wouldn't bother to think of it as a year. However, 1503 is actually the year that Leonardo da Vinci started painting the Mona Lisa. It took him 16 years to do it, but it's a well-known fact that 1503 is when he started. Is LEGO still putting Easter eggs and references like these in their sets though? It's a good question, so let me show you the brand new LEGO Twilight Cullen House. To answer the question, yes, of course LEGO is still going super hard with the Easter eggs. In fact, just like the Friends set, the Cullen House also has a page on LEGO's website, breaking down a bunch of different references. The funniest ones by far, though, have to be the baseball references in the living room. If you've never seen the Twilight series, basically, the Cullens are a family of vampires, but there's a super famous scene in the movies where they actually play baseball and use their powers to their advantage. It's only famous because of how random it is for the movie. So to commemorate it, LEGO added a baseball hat on the coffee table and a tile with bats on it on the wall. The only way to make LEGO Easter eggs any better is if they're funny. And to be honest, it doesn't get much better than this. Did you miss any of the Easter eggs or references in this video? If you did, let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.